So this is the first new building, which is the condenser, which as you can see takes a rock and makes a little explosion and makes it a little bigger. And this quest asks us to mine condensed rock, so sure. So if you were to drill a regular rock, see, it doesn't affect the timer at all, it doesn't affect the quest at all, but if we put our condensed rock in, picks up. Yeah, so again, hopefully the player can kind of figure this out without kind of ruining too much of the magic for themselves, and then there's so much more to explore with the condensers that I'm not too worried. This will take a little bit whilst we're here. A little more wrong to the equation. In fact, if we look down here, we can see that there's two more, and they've kind of been lined up in a way that might entice the player into trying to shoot Ronk through it, which coincidentally, you can see our next task is to mine double condensed Ronk. So running it through the condenser twice makes a bigger explosion and a bigger Ronk. That'll tick off this next quest. Now to speed this up a little, we're just going to run 2 lines in. Excellent. Alrighty. Swap you out for a quad. And we're going to be needing to do more of this in the future. Let's swap these out for merges. And put a 2-2 in it. So now we should have even more coming through. So now it wants a triple condensed rock, so we can take our knowledge and throw a third one in the pile. One other thing to note is you can see that this rock is going to give us 10. It's synced up, so this will get us to 190. Beautiful. Yeah, so every time it goes through a condenser, including like the size goes up, but also the value of each rock goes up, which makes them a kind of interesting challenge. One other thing I should probably shout out. So now it wants us to do 10x, so really trying to take this mechanic to its, not necessarily its limits, but kind of make sure the player really explores it. One other thing to note is you can't just chuck a condenser anywhere. It'll get grumpy. It's got to be placed on an ore, like thus. Excellent. So now, to get 10x condensed rock, we can essentially build this long path like, let's go way fast. You can see how it's just going to keep growing and growing, and kind of just add some other interesting hazards to the player whilst they're playing. One other thing I wanted to show off. A lot of players don't discover this on their own. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from sending a Ronk through more than once. As you'll see here, it'll just get bigger and bigger. And we'll come back to that one in a moment. Upside down. As you can see, condensers are directional. This gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 2 more. That'll get us there. Oof. As you can see, the explosions get bigger and bigger as you go. And you can see that our one little Ronk in here is still also getting bigger and bigger. And eventually it will get too big and it will explode on its own due to it just being too unstable. Should happen reasonably soon. As you can see, this explosion radius is already absolutely massive. This also does just a heap of damage to any boss. Like, probably won't one-shot it, but you can do a pretty serious chunk to most things. Still growing. the explosion radius. There we go. Yeah, that's the point where it becomes too unstable. Handle it anymore. Excellent, so this one should be our 10th. Ooh, taking all kinds of damage this level. Excellent, now we can see we're ticking over. Once these last two come through, if it has it, we'll probably be done. Yeah, excellent. So there is a final check there just to make sure you've mined enough Ronk, but as we'd already done more than enough of that, that gets us there. And as you can see, we've actually got a different metal this time, because we took 9 damage over the course of that. Obviously your HP regens, because you only have 8. So without that HP regen, we would have lost a life, which again isn't the end anymore, because players were really struggling with that rogue-like element. So for now, it's more of like an action puzzler, I guess would be the genres are a little tricky to define with this game, but that's kind of where she's sitting at right now. So this is kind of like the intro to the mobs for real this time. So now you've actually got a goal, you've got to mine some Ronk, and you've got these crystals being annoying whilst you're trying to, you know, optimize your lines. And once again, you've got a dash now. Just gives you a couple brief iframes. The goal isn't to be super reliant on it. I may end up putting an additional cost in. For now, it's just kind of free. Helps the speed running. Does give you a bit less control, and the iframes aren't the most forgiving. Like it'll get you out of most situations, but if you end up relying on it, you might cause yourself a problem. Excellent. So now I'm just going to put a flip drill up here to send one that way and that way. This pile of ghosts and slimes gets dealt with on its own, and I don't have to spend too much focus on it. So I'm gonna send one this way. In fact, whilst we got time, send one this way as well. Perfect. So we can see the wave starting to thin out now. So at a lot of later levels, these mobs will respawn, but for a level like this, they are one and done. Whilst this is still alive, let's see if we can go into shooting at us. Perfect. And that clears that out. Perfect, so now that we've dealt with our problems, we can use our flip switches unabated. Nothing is going to cause us grief. And we can even use a condenser here, start getting a little bit more value. Let's even loop this. Oh, terrible user inputs there. Too tricky with it, and just shooting stuff the wrong direction. The best laid plans and all that. Well, at least I gave us a pile. Gonna be greedy and put you up as well. This might end up being slower, to be honest. We're already so close to the goal, but part of the beauty of learning, you know, trying to get a feel for when you're getting near the break points and where you just want to keep investing. And once these two come in, that'll tick us off. And once again, damageless, so way